This repair shop is very small. A tin roof, an old toolbox, and a weathered wooden sign that reads tire repair oil change. My father set it up more than 20 years ago. Back then, it was just a dream, one that didn't require much space or money, just enough to put food on the table. As for me, after finishing 9th grade, I returned to help him. That was only 2 years ago, but it feels like a lifetime. We've been through so much together. You see, we were too poor, and there was no other way. Day after day, the customers were few, but there were always people coming in and out of this tiny shop. Some would wait hours while others dropped their cars off and picked them up later. People came to us because they knew my father would not rip them off. He was honest and hardworking, always willing to lend a hand. To those who couldn't pay for repairs, he would say, "Fix it for him. He'll bring you some food later." I remember him saying that. Sometimes a car would break down right in front of the shop. My father would immediately drop what he was doing, rush out with a tow truck and pull the vehicle inside. He told me that no matter where you are or what you do, you should always be prepared to help people. Those who need it most, your time, your energy, and your money. All he asked in return was a little understanding and honesty. There were days when my father worked until his hands were torn and his nails broken. Yet he still smiled. Every time I saw him like that, my heart ached. So I worked harder. I cleaned the floor, I washed the oily parts, I sanded the metal, I organized the tools. I learned to fix engines and brakes. I fixed everything that came through that door. I became stronger, tougher, better. Because when you work next to a man whose fingers can barely grip a wrench due to severe arthritis, you learn a lot. I told my father I would take over the shop one day, but he always waved me off with a smile. "As long as there are broken vehicles, we're still in business," he would say. That's why I'm telling you all this. I want you to know about my father and our shop. Mechanics like my father and me are not good with words, not knowledgeable about policies, and know nothing except how to hold a wrench. We spend our entire lives under cars and rarely look up. When we do, we usually just wipe oil off our forearms and watch the sunset. We don't keep up with trends or fashion. Many might think we're uncivilized. I used to think that about myself too. The money for food, clothing, and raising children, the electricity and water bills all come from that oil-stained undercarriage. The money that kept us going wasn't earned easily. My father and I would often work until late at night. Most nights I would sleep after midnight. It was hard, but at least it was honest work. Then, a few months ago, things started to change. Fewer cars were coming in for repairs. The customers who once brought their cars here now stopped returning our calls. My father, being a simple man, continued making phone calls, hoping to get new customers, but nobody answered. Instead, they sent us text messages saying, "I'm sorry, my car is out of warranty, so I'll have to take it elsewhere." Others said, "I found a cheaper mechanic." Even the cheapest of jobs eventually dried up. We weren't busy anymore. One morning, as we surveyed the deserted shop, my father sighed, "Looks like it's gonna be a slow day." Then he added with a weak smile, "Like every other day lately." He was right. For weeks, no one visited the shop. Our phone remained silent. The only sound was the wind whistling through the gaps in the walls. Sitting there, listening to the wind, I realized something. We needed to do something to attract customers or our repair shop, the only thing keeping us afloat, would close its doors forever. But what could we do? We were just mechanics. I was about to ask my father what he thought we should do when he surprised me by suggesting we should try fixing motorcycles. He explained that many bike shops in town lacked mechanics, and if we could learn, we might find plenty of work. But the truth was, neither my father nor I had any idea how to fix motorcycles. If I'm honest, I couldn't even tell you how to operate one. But if there was one thing we were good at, it was fixing engines and diagnosing problems. I knew we could learn if we tried hard enough. So I spent a few days watching videos online to refresh my memory and learn new things. I also went to the library to borrow books about motorcycles. While I was learning, my father took apart an old engine to practice. He wanted to fix it without consulting any books or videos. After reading the first book, I felt confident enough to guide my father in fixing the engine. 3 days later, the engine was repaired and ready to be installed back into a motorcycle. On the first Monday morning, we posted a sign outside the shop stating, "We now repair motorcycles." We placed another sign on the main road leading to the city center and made sure it read, "Motorcycle Repair Shop." Throughout the week, several motorcycles passed by our shop. Most stopped, entered, and parked next to the motorcycles my father and I had already fixed. They left with smiles on their faces and promised to return. On Friday, 3 men sat in front of the shop drinking coffee. They told us that many bikers were talking about the new motorcycle repair shop near the old car repair shop. It wasn't easy, but after 2 months, we got into a rhythm. Now every morning when we arrived at the shop, there were already customers waiting for us. Once the morning rush was over, we tackled the endless pile of paperwork. These were long days filled with lots of dust and grease, but at least they were good days. We were making progress, so I thought maybe the future would be better after all. Then the whispering started again. This time it wasn't about us. It was about cars. One evening while watching the news, I heard a report about a government meeting regarding gasoline-powered vehicles. I thought it was just another routine meeting. But later, I heard people whispering more and more about it. Gasoline-powered vehicles are soon to be banned. At first, I thought it was just a rumor. But then the news reports confirmed it, the paperwork discussed it, and meetings talked about it. It's just that no one said anything about us. Now when I hear those words, gasoline-powered vehicles are soon to be banned, my hands start to shake and my whole body trembles. This can't be happening. How can they make decisions affecting people's lives without considering their impact? I mean, what will happen to the thousands of families who depend on the income generated by repairing these cars? What will become of the junkyards where people go to buy spare parts? Why aren't they thinking about all this? They're about to take away everything my father and I have built. All those sleepless nights, all that sweat, all that effort, it's all about to disappear. The more I thought about it, the angrier I became. I paced around the house, unable to concentrate. My mind raced trying to figure out what to do. But the truth is there's nothing we can do. We're just a small repair shop in a big city. One day, not far off, gasoline vehicles will no longer be allowed on the roads. And my father's repair shop probably will have to close quietly as if it never existed. And that's why I'm telling you all this. I want you to know about my father and our car repair shop. Not only do we fix cars, but we also offer advice, friendship, and a listening ear to those who need it. Maybe some people might not understand, but we're trying our best. Thank you for listening.